In this video, I'm going to show you 3 alternatives to mini pumps. I'm going to show you how fast they are, how many times they can pump up your tire, and I'm going to compare them to a good mini pump and even a floor pump. What's up everyone, FC here from E-MTB, and today I'm going to show you these mini brushless lithium compressors, and their job is to replace your mini pump or offer you an alternative if you don't like those things so much, or even those CO2s, right? So I reviewed these two about a month ago, and I'm going to compare the new one. This is the A2 Cycplus A2 Pro Max, and about 80 to 90 people bought these through my links, and they just kind of, so it made some money for the channel, and so do that if you want to help out. But there's also a discount code, by the way, so that's going to be in the description. But what really blew me away is how all the comments says, wow, blew my mind. I didn't know these existed, but it's changed my way of maintaining my bike and my flat tires and whatnot. What's even better is 5 of my friends, my personal friends, bought it through my link, and I see them riding with me, and they're like, and I interviewed them, and I go, wow, what do you think? And they all love it. I mean, it's just, and I'm gonna share with you a lot of their impressions. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna test this. I'm gonna inflate this 2.4 tire to 24 PSI, kind of high, and I'm gonna see how fast it is and also how many times it can do it. And if you hang on after that, I'm gonna share with you one big weakness of this thing that you should think about if you're gonna use it. Also, I'm gonna share with you some of the kind of the revelations that change the way my friends do their bike maintenance just because of these little things. Taking out the valve core is quick, so I'll do that every time, and I'll speed up this video just to respect your time. I'll just put a timestamp on it. All right, so the way this thing works, so this has a 600 milliamp hour battery and a brushless motor, nice metal case, and it has a silicone sleeve if it gets too hot for you or you want a soft touch. But the key component of this guy is a gauge. The gauge tells you what your current pressure is, but it also serves as the kind of the thermostat, the shutoff of where it's going to stop pumping, and that right there is the game changer. They have versions that don't have the gauge, and you just kind of have to guess and measure with your gauge. But this one really, I think, is the category killer. All right, so I'm setting it to 24 psi, and plus minus button. This goes to 120 psi, and we are going to just turn it on. You can turn it on before, but you can also turn it on after. So right there, it could be no hands operation as well. Let's try that on the first try. So you just turn it on. All right, so it's not quiet. It's a compressor, but it's not bad. So my microphone is pointed kind of this way. If I pointed it down there, it'll be a little louder. So if you are in a very quiet office, you probably don't want to do it like this, but in the woods, it's not much noisier than a car or vehicle or a truck passing by. Okay, so the speed is fast. So we are now at 17 psi, 18, 19. Okay, right there, it stopped. And according to its own gauge, you give it about 10 seconds, 24. And we'll verify that. 24. Attempt number 2. All right, attempt number 2. It's at 24 psi again. Look how hard that is. And this thing is still at 3 bars out of 3. All right, number 3 exactly at 24. So right there, I'm letting it shut off at 25 because there's back pressure. And then when I measure it, it's at 24 exactly. All right, attempt number 5. All right. All right, still has 2 bars. A little warm to the touch, but not too hot. Number 6 here. $24. Ooh, a little warmer. All right, 1 bar left, a little hot. Whoa, don't waste that. Number 7. Seven times. All right, pretty warm. All right, number 8 might be the last one. Up. Up. It shut off right at 24 psi was the reading, and it's very hot. So there you go, 8 times, and the speed is definitely faster. The first pump is the fastest because that's when the voltage is highest. So 8 times, 4.5 times on this one, and the Flextail was about 3, and I'll show you the other footage. So why would you get this? You would get this if you wanted more speed and more inflation attempts, or if you like to do high pressure. And it gets less warm because there's a bigger heat sink on this thing. So at 4 times, this was hardly warm compared to the Cycplus Pro. So, you know, the size is bigger, but not too much bigger. And the price, 130 over 110. So really good options. So what would I get? I would get, if you're a road biker, you probably want this because this is very good at high pressure. This kind of struggles anything over 80. But I would get this because it's small. I like minimalist. And if I wanted more inflation than 4 times, I would just carry a small iPhone charger, you know, a battery bank. This one's only 400 milliamp hours. So if you carry a 800 milliamp hour tiny little one, it would fully charge this 2 times. So now you have 12 inflations. So I would get this for sure. But if you wanted this guy right here, you know, you can't go wrong either. So now we want to show you the performance of the Cycplus Pro, the cheaper version and smaller version, for $110. So getting a little filler. Okay. So the pressure. So this is 0 battery, I'm sure. As you can see in the exact same scenario, the performance and usage is the same. It shuts off automatically, has about the same noise level, and it's just a little slower. 1 minute, 1 second was the fastest time, and it inflated 5 times. The last attempt only got it to 17 psi. The third pump we're going to show you is the Flextail Tiny Pump for $85. No gauge on this one. Struggling. Oh, it shut down. It shut down on the 3rd attempt. The Flextail Tiny Pump was able to inflate the tire 3 times,
but on the third time only up to 22 psi, and it was a little bit slower than the Cycplus Pro pumps.
So the couple revelations, the biggest weakness I would say is that, you know, it shuts off early depending on how much back pressure you have, how clogged your valve is. So you have to account for that. Just like your floor pump, the needle goes higher as you're pumping. This thing reads that and it might shut off early if your valve is clogged off. You can just set it a little higher and then measure it after the fact when there's no pumping that is going on. So that is the big weakness. I also noticed that it loosens the tubeless valve, the tubeless lock nut, because of the vibration, so that has to be really tight. And then the other thing is it heats it up. It heats it up, and that's more important if you use TPU tubes where that could melt under heat. So there you go. Really cool options. Definitely get the gauge. And for me personally, how it's changed the game is I don't use it for flat tires. You know, I've gotten one flat tire, but I've used it every day, mostly to check my pressure before the ride. And a couple of times during the ride, I would set it. I go, I wonder how I'd feel at 18. Set it right there on the trail. I feel it like this. I go, oh, it's good. But then when I measure it, it's 14 psi. You know, every tire is different depending on the casing, you know, on your press test. And that can really affect your how well you ride and how safely you ride. If it's underinflated, you're just screwed. So there you go. Really, just a game-changing tool. And please share with us your experience. And if you want it, click on the links in the description. It would help the channel out. And but really, it will help you out if you got to try this, or at least have a buddy try it. All right. Thanks a ton, everybody.